Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. This is the preview to Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, the Eagles. Today, I'm joined with an exclusive guest. You can see him throwing up the bird signs. An exclusive guinea fowl sign, but we'll keep it moving. Look, this is
have some respect for the Eagles, you know.
Look, Super Eagles, innit? I relate to the birds. Get me? So look, we have Rich. Cheers! We got Rich here from Eagle-Eyed Football. Eagle-Eyed Football touchdown to chop it up with OT. So much appreciation to you. And look, we're gonna get into it. You know, I see you doing your thing, so I respect it. Eagle-Eyed Football. I'm gonna leave his details in the comment section below. So look, you can follow him. Just make sure you follow him, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna leave his details. I'll get it before we leave, man. So remember to follow him, man. Support the channel. He's doing great things. Him and his team. You'll catch him at the home games. You'll catch him doing his match previews, his match reactions, and doing features, man. You would have recently caught him on the United View and various other places, man. He's getting his stuff out there. So remember to like, follow, and just support him on Twitter, Insta, YouTube, all of that. I'll try and get all of that information for you guys. But look, Rich, man, how you feeling?
I'm good. I think the transfer window was definitely kind to us. We addressed areas which needed to be addressed, and coming off the back of 2 draws, which were massive for us because our running of games is done. Like Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle. Then we got you again, Brighton, Liverpool, Brentford. Like it doesn't get any easier for us. So any points we can pick up is a good point.
Do you know what? Like I looked at your fixtures and I was just like, you know what? Like you said, it was a horrid fixture list. And but what I would say, I mean, I think personally you've got the right man. I know Palace hasn't been going in a good run. Looks like it turned a little, you know, getting a little momentum here. But what is your fans saying in light of what you've just said? Is it like, you know, we've got a tough run of games, we're going to get through this and try and pick up points? Or is it Vieira's not doing enough and he needs to... Is there any Vieira out type of discussions happening in your fan base? Or is it more like togetherness and we'll get through this rough patch?
You know, our fan base, especially on Palace Twitter, it's so like up and down, left and right. The mood always changes. We've all agreed that like Vieira wasn't really adequately backed in the summer. We all agree that as such. I guess the biggest gripe with Vieira is sometimes his team selection. He kind of like persists with certain players where we think maybe a change here will do better. One point in question is Jordan Ayew. Now, for me personally, he works very hard for us.
Yeah,
crazy and stuff. But in front of goal and that, even just trying to get assists, it ain't it.
Yeah,
it ain't it.
Yeah.
The other one's Jeffrey Schlupp, centre midfield as well. We feel like Will Hughes should play more and stuff. So that's the only bit of gripe he gets. But the fan base are very understanding. They understand that, listen, we only really want to check the Corey, you know, and now Chris Richards is actually getting some minutes. So it's tough, especially with everyone else spending so much more around us. And so, but all in all, we're good. I personally, I'm so happy with it.
Yeah. So I mean, on the transfers then. So obviously for the Man United fans, that's not, you know, got their ears to the ground with what's happening with Palace and the names you bring in. And obviously one name that stands out to me is Lokonga, where you made that signing, and I think that was a really good move. I feel like he'll be able to flourish at Palace, be able to get a lot more minutes than he is currently getting. Do you see him as a guy that walks into your first team, or is he a guy that's gonna have to maybe earn his right to be starting in your midfield?
I hope he can start. I think he will address the midfield hole that we have. But you just never know, because we've also signed Ahamada from a 20-year-old from Stuttgart, and he can play in that 8 position as well. I think I personally think of the two, Lokonga may start more games, just because he's got more of the Premier League experience at this current moment in time and stuff. But from us being very light in midfield, we've got too many midfielders now, and I'm not complaining about it personally. Whenever like games are going on, you're looking at the bench and thinking, who can we actually bring on? You know what I mean? So no, I don't think we're gonna have that problem.
Now you've got a bit of squad depth coming in now. So what can these two signings then, the one from Stuttgart and Lokonga, bring to your midfield that you're probably lacking before then? What are some of the traits you feel that they'll bring?
You know what? Like we've had Chet Doucouré kind of do everything for us. Like he has to win the ball and he has to start off passages of play and stuff. And sometimes he's having to take shots for us on the edge of the box. You know, and as a midfield unit, you need a collective unit in a sense. And my personal opinion, especially when Jeffrey Schlupp's playing, I feel when Schlupp plays, he affects Eze's game because he's not tactically astute in the middle of the park. He just drifts off in places, which means that Eze finds himself isolated. So either or who starts next to Doucouré, one, it gives Doucouré help, and two, I think it's going to give a lot more room to Eze to find those pockets in between the midfield and the defence where he plays best.
Look, Palace, man, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I love Palace. I'm originally from South as well. I lived in Fulton Heath, and for many years, man. Parents still even live there, to be honest. And Palace is close to me, so it's like it's in my heart. I know, like you've got some good quality young guys, man, that are just creative, man. And we saw it even from the last game, man. Can even if their backs against the wall, they can come up with moments of brilliance and just sink you. And I mean, you know, you got your Eze's, you got your Elise's, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk about that free kick as well that he put in at the you know, the dying minutes. It was stressful because it was almost like we had our mind, from Man United's point of view, we was distraction. We had one mind focused on Arsenal and one mind focused on Palace. And yes, there was the whole debate about whether we should start Casemiro because it was one yellow card away from getting a ban, which he ended up getting and then missing the Arsenal game. And I saw Eric Ten Hag's face when he got the yellow, sort of puffed. So even then, you know, his mind wasn't still fully focused on this game because look, Casemiro's still in this game, he's still playing, you can still go on to win. And I feel like I just feel like there was a big distraction. So I'm happy that Arsenal was out of the way. But I mean, with Palace and your players, you can't sleep on Palace because you've got individual quality players. And you know what? One thing I wanted to ask, right? I was so baffled, and I wanted to ask you because maybe you'll give a better perspective of this. Is when Olise scored that goal, which was nuts, right? Nobody saving that. Top corner hit the bar. When he scored that goal, why did he celebrate like that? Why was he nothing, no emotion? It's like raw, like he just got released. I don't even know. Like what happened?
Two things. Number one, if you've ever seen his like interviews and stuff, he's straight to the point. Like an interview will go, and like against after West Ham when he scored, it was like, "Oh, talk us through your goal, cut in, shot, you win it." Like he keeps it so simple and stuff, and you can tell he's still like a young guy. He doesn't really want to be in the camera and so on and so forth. Like a lot of people will think that it's based on attitude and stuff like that. It's not that. You know what? He himself will tell you he had a terrible game. He actually had a poor game, and then just brought up that moment of brilliance. So I think it was just sheer relief as well as frustration to himself, because honestly, I was calling for him to be substituted for like the 60th minute. He just didn't have it. And it's not even, listen, against Man United, you're not really going to have good, easy games. You're not always going to have a great game, but it was just the simple things he was doing wrong. He just kept giving the ball away, which is so unlike him. So, I think it was just sheer frustration more than anything.
I mean, it's good to hear from your side of things. I was really baffled because that was like up there with goal of the season probably, or even goal of the month for sure. I was just like, look, you just scored a worldie at home in your ground. Look, I was expecting him to be like doing this, running into the crowd. You know what I mean? Like it was flipping WrestleMania or something. But he didn't do that. And then it brought me back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a guy that we've got as well from the ends as well. And he's less vocal. He's not really vocal. He's a guy that, you know, you hardly hear anything. And I'm just like, what's happening at Palace over here? What's going on at Palace? Why is it all these guys are just emotionless? But you know what? I have to rate Olise, man. He did a good job. But another thing I remembered in that game as well is Zaha, man. Zaha and that opportunity that he had almost at the end to just put us away for good. Oh, we've got Ed coming in. Me admit him. So whilst he joins, look, Zaha, man, he had a one-on-one to get the 3 points, had an opportunity. Then I remember his interview, he said, he turned around, he looked back, and then he saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the spider after him, and he was just like, oh, if it was anyone else, it'll probably be, a smash and grab from from Palace. Look, what is your thoughts on like Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Because I know that Palace, there was rumours that you guys were interested in taking him back at a cut fee. What's your thoughts on Palace, Wan-Bissaka? Is it someone that you'll still take back, or have you moved on? Because I know you've got a similar type mold in a fullback who's really good at defending.
At the time we got Mitchell here at left back. At the time, 100% would have taken him back, but just on a loan. The reason I say just a loan is because I think you lot were evaluating him at like 25-30 mil, and we ain't got money like that. No word of a lie and stuff. Just on that chance, it's mad because obviously Casemiro had the chance just beforehand, and I'm the opposite end of the ground, so I just saw the ball whiz past the goal. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happened there? And it was only when I got home and I saw, I was like, rah, he actually missed an open goal.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then, as you're saying, like, when Wilf was going through, he was kind of stumbling, but he was still ahead of Aaron. But that just shows Aaron's defensive quality, to be able to wrap his leg around. And it was an incredible challenge.
Only him.
Yeah, this is it. It's only him. But look, I think in the summer, it would either be between Aaron. We have been looking at a Galatasaray's right back, Sacha Bowie as well. So I reckon it's an area we need to strengthen. So it'll be one of those two players, I reckon, for right back next season.
Man, I think from a Man United's perspective, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is starting to win over some fans now. I feel like they see him contributing to our play a lot more. He's playing more inverted now. He's playing with a lot more intent, forward thinking. He's looking, sometimes he can still look awkward on the ball, but he's playing with a bit more confidence than he was previously doing. So I feel like, he's been involved. He's got a few crosses in here and there. He's improving. Hopefully, Erik ten Hag can get something out of him, because if he can, just improve him by at least 10-20%. I mean, there's something that we can use there, and someone that we can keep instead of wasting more money in the market, and just, so it will be good to see. But look, let's talk about Manchester United versus Crystal Palace coming up. Look, Man United, you're coming to the newly established fortress. Manchester United, as the last time we lost a game there was somewhere back in September. I don't know if it was like the 8th. I think it was like the 8th of September. Real Sociedad actually. So it wasn't even a Premier League game. I can't remember the last time we lost the game at home. So it's been a long time. We've turned it into a fortress, and shout outs to Erik ten Hag for doing so. Look, what do you feel will be? What's your chances? How do you feel about coming to Old Trafford?
I'll take a point. I ain't gonna come here with no chest and all like that. I'll take a point. I'll take a point. We've got no Zaha, because obviously he's picked up a hamstring injury, so he's probably out between 4 to 6 weeks. Joachim Andersen, I don't think he's back fit yet. But then, to be fair, Chris Richards, when he came in, he's been brilliant and stuff. So it's good that we've covered that area. But yeah, honestly, I'll take a point. If it's a 0-0, I'll take it.
You know what, right? I've been looking at stats, looking at all of these head-to-heads and all of that stuff, and I know, like I say, our history with Palace is up and down, especially when we're at Palace's home. But then I also look at it like, it's almost like I'm looking at Palace and I'm looking at their form, and I know Manchester United is in great form. Manchester United is in excellent form. We've gone up undefeated, like I just said, since September. We haven't lost a game at home, nothing but W's. But then I'm looking at Palace, man. I'm just like, why do you have to be looking like you're gathering some sort of form? Why now? And the reason why I say that is because against Manchester United, you guys played to the dying minute. This is the resilience that you played to the right dying minute, and you got your rewards for that. You got your rewards, and like I mentioned earlier, you've got guys that can make a difference in the game. When Palace is up for it, look, you're taking points off. There's not many teams that will be able to cope with the creativity that you've got, right? I know Zaha will be a big miss, but like Palace has done numbers on teams. But I think my worry is, you know, you got through Manchester United, you got through Newcastle relatively unscathed. Look, this is Newcastle who's firing for more cylinders, a Newcastle that has got the best defensive record in the league, but they're attacking as well like crazy. You know, you went up against a strong Newcastle team. You had guys like Saint Maximin come off the bench. You had guys like Isaac also come off the bench. This isn't like a Newcastle team where it's just like they weren't in form. They've been consistently in form, and Palace managed to get through that relatively unscathed. Now you're coming back to Manchester United, and I'm just thinking, I'm worrying. I'm thinking, you know, like, are you gonna do the double? Like, for me, it felt like a double. Like, it'll feel like a win if you're taking a point off Manchester United, where we're trying to fight for that top four. It's just gonna feel like a W. It'll feel like you're doing a double over us. So, like, again, is your newfound confidence? Is there any newfound confidence with how you performed against Man United and Newcastle got you feeling, or the fan base feeling, that they can get something from this game?
Look, like, defensively, we've just become a lot more solid.
Yes,
a lot solid the last couple of games, especially the Newcastle game. I was really impressed because as much as they had more of the ball, they didn't really create anything clear cut.
Yeah.
And such, and we ended up having the best chance, and Nick Pope made a mad save from Mateta.
Yeah,
you know? So that's good. If it means we're not giving it too many chances, it gives you a better chance of getting something from the game. Now, like I said earlier, I'll take a point. We're under no illusions that because we've had 2 games where we've been defensively a lot tighter, that we're just going to rock up to Old Trafford and do the madness. No chance.
Yeah.
Listen, don't be surprised if you see a 5-4. Vieira's been toying with that sort of formation.
Yeah.
I know he did it at Newcastle away, did City away, and stuff like that. So it could be a direction we take.
Do you know what? It's I know you mentioned the Mateta shot, which was a hell of a strike, and there was even in that game. I remember Newcastle actually had some penalty claims. Palace had some penalty claims. I know that Newcastle had most of the possession and less chances, sort of, but they had really good chances. And I know that there was claims for Zaha being fouled in the box. He probably could have got a penalty claim there. There was slight claims of, I think it was it Edwin before the ball fell to Mateta. It had a little tug on him a little bit, where again there was a slight call for a potential foul there. I mean, on another day, you know, we could have been talking about, you know, Palace getting through that game, getting 3 points. So, I mean, we just always got to worry about these things when we're playing against Palace and or any other team that's still hungry, that's still grinding. But Edwin, welcome, man. Welcome to OT.
Yeah, sorry, man. My laptop is on.
I get me and Rich from Eagle Eye's been chopping it up about a few things with regards to the game, the signings, and currently just on, you know, what we think the outcome is going to be for the game on Saturday. But do you know what, right, Edwin? Who do you fear the most from Palace going into this game? What's your biggest concerns? Because one of the biggest concerns is already out, right? So I wanted to ask Rich as well, like, what the situation was with Zaha, because I see him pull up with, like, he had a hammy injury after Newcastle, and now Rich has confirmed that he's out for like a few weeks now, 3 weeks or more. Without him in that game, obviously that's a big loss. What's your thought? Who worries you most about Palace going into this game?
Firstly, welcome, Rich.
Cheers.
All as well. Do you know what? I don't think it's anyone singular. I think it's collective. The way we play a very high line. And as we saw, like, we had people like Maguire and that playing on the halfway line. And what I realised in the last Palace game was when we were hit on a counter-attack, they were just destroying us. Like, we couldn't actually keep up with them. So I think they've got a lot of young, fast players. His name's gone off my head. Oh.
Who's got the pace in your squad? Schlop.
Now, who's that young one that's like good? Like, he's got plats, but he's good on the ball.
Is that?
Yeah. He came off the bench, but he's dangerous. As soon as he came on,
he had a very good game off the bench, actually.
Yeah, he's dangerous. And the thing I realized, if we try and play that high line with them, we're going to be in trouble, because that second half and maybe the last quarter, they were just pressing us. Like, even that free kick was like a beautiful goal, but they kind of deserved it, especially in that last quarter. And my only concern is because we played the high line, is who we play at the back to keep up with them. Because I know Wan-Bissaka, he done a lot of the tracking back on the 1-to-1, like even when he had Zaha, when Zaha was through. But it's like, if we play someone like Maguire or Lindelof, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? So it really depends how we set up. And even in the game yesterday, we saw that if we have a lackluster kind of sit back approach, we're there for the taking. Like, and we nearly got exposed on 2 occasions yesterday, and yesterday's game. So I think if we decide to sit back and we don't take control of the game, we can make it a more difficult game than it has to be. But it just depends. If we try and drop, it's a hard way. If we try and play a high line, it can hit us on the counter. If we try and drop, we can just invite them to press us. So
yeah. So what Palace? Go on.
Now I was gonna say it could go either way. It's either gonna be a hard game and like Palace could squeeze through, or it's gonna be like one we dominate, and not that we dominate, but we win by a lot of goals, but it's not reflective of the game. Because Man United do that; they'll win by like 2-3-0, but it's not reflective of playing a better game. It's just that they've taken the chances where the other team hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you mean, and I feel like so Rich was saying he I mean, I don't know what Palace's formation is. 4-3-2-1 typically, isn't it? Or what is it? I'm not 100% sure.
It varies depending on which midfielder they have in. So it's either 4-3-3, like a flat 3, or 4-2-3-1.
Okay. So going into Manchester United, you reckon that formation may change a little because you're coming to OT, or
and plus with the fact that Wilf is out injured, that might change a few things. Yeah. So we'll all guess. Anyone's guess how Vieira.
Anyone guess?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it could be a counter-attack game, so obviously we're gonna have to be cautious. We're gonna have to be cautious and look out for that pace. But I know that Zaha is one that I would worry about in particular, but because he's out, I'm a bit more calm. But yeah, like you did say, there's Elise and Eze and those guys that can just cause.
Elise, he's the one who scored a free kick, right?
He's the one that scored a free kick.
It was causing so much troubles as well. It was like we couldn't get the ball away from him,
and he didn't celebrate.
He's like good on the ball. You know what?
I think we thought he had a bad game.
Is it?
He kept giving the ball away.
I thought he was. Do you know what? I think he was playing left.
You see what I mean, Rich? Yeah. When it comes to Bruno, he'll be on to Manny. If you ever watch any of our shows, this guy.
No, but do you know what? Do you know why?
How many people will rip their arm off to take Bruno and their club right about that?
No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a Bruno fan, but do you know what it is? Maybe it's because the first time I saw him and I saw little glimpses of stuff that I liked him, because I've never watched him play before. Yeah. So him scoring that free kick and just like the little 1-2 touches, you can see he's like you can tell he's young, and like just with more games he's going to be dangerous. But I think maybe it's because the first time I saw him and I just saw like he's actually very talented. So
does Lokonga feature Rich in Saturday's game?
I hope so. I don't want to see Jeffrey Schlupp in the middle of the park.
But it's weird though. He used to be a wing. He's playing the left, isn't he?
Yeah, he's better. Funny enough, me personally, with Zaha out, I'll play Schlupp left wing.
He's got the.
He's better there, and he can get back and help defend.
He's got the athleticism to do that. So look, obviously you've got potential debutant in Lokonga. We've got a potential debutant in Savitsa, and I'll be interested to see.
I was so annoyed seeing that. I was like, why?
He's a good player, isn't it? It came out of nowhere as well.
He's quality. And then I was watching your lot's game yesterday, and I was like, Casemiro and Fred both got yellows. Get one more yellow each, please. Because you know what? I didn't realise when Bruno Guimaraes got his red card. I didn't realise that the suspension goes into the domestic games.
It goes into the domestic
final.
Yeah, bro.
I was there thinking, wait, Casemiro and Fred are both booked. One more, please, just one more.
Bro,
you know, Casemiro's got a tendency to do something stupid like that, knowing that he's going to be banned. He'll do something silly.
Look, that could cost them as well. That red card that Bruno got, because it's going to miss 3 games, right? And I think one of those 3 games is Liverpool as well. So that's you would have wanted to have him in that game if you're going to have him in any game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with that loss. But look, Manchester United against Palace. It's going to be a very, very, very important game for us to keep up on momentum, to keep the gap closed on City. You know what I mean? And we just need to be bouncing that. You know what I mean? So look, Rich, what's your match? What's your score predictions, man? What can we do to? You said 1-1. Was it a draw? Was it a 0-0? What's your? Because
I said I'll take a point. I don't think we're getting it. I think it'll be 2-0 United, to be honest.
2-0 United. Edwin?
I think maybe 3-1 or 4-1. Do you know what? Is because I look at the Man United, and this is the closest we've got to a full squad throughout the whole season. Everyone's there. Sancho's there, Martial's there, and for once we've got options off the bench. And I feel like even if we have a bad half now, the second half we've got the players to come off. Before it was only defenders. So maybe a 3 or 4-1.
3 or 4-1. Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that many goals.
3-1 or 4-1. Yeah.
I don't think Man United has ever had that many goals in it. I don't think Man United has that many goals in their games against. Well, maybe if we have, it's not common. I feel like there's usually like a goal in it, or it's like one goal or a draw. Yeah, I don't know, man. I know we're at home, but I mean, if anything, it will probably be a 2-goal margin at best. You know. But like I say, I'm going with a. I'm going with a 2-1. I'm going with 2-1 United. I feel like we need to win this game because we just need some redemption. It left a sour taste in our mouths when that free kick went in, and Casemiro, you know, got that yellow, and the fact that we lost against Arsenal. So there's a lot of redemption to do. So I'm going with a 2-1 to United. But look, we'll see, man. Hopefully we'll be chopping this up again post-match, giving our views on the game, giving our tactical breakdown, and hopefully, you know, like I say, Palace is one of the is command them. I respect Palace. You know what I mean? They're doing their thing, and hopefully
straight Wakanda out there, man.
Straight Wakanda out here. It's just, you know, when you see it on social media, it's just BLM. It's like Man United versus BLM. So they don't even call Palace no more. You get me? So,
but the scary thing is because they're young players and they're gifted. If they gel, they'll do well. I just hope even as a Man United, I want them to give Vieira a chance, man, because especially as a black manager, there's not a lot. I was even thinking today, it's like, man, it would be dope if a black manager won the league one time, just once. You know what I mean? So he's got good ideas. It's just that he's come at a time where the Premiership is just tough. It's just a tough league. You know what I mean? Like, you got Man City will win games and look dominant and lose a game. You know what I mean? Same with Chelsea. That's why it's surprising. Only Arsenal that's really upheld it this season, which is surprising. So,
one last question, Rich. What's a good season for Palace this season? What's a good season?
You going crazy?
Because of the way the season's gone, like I said, the lack of investment in the summer, I said 12th. That's where we finished last season. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, you should push for Europe." We've got to take one step at a time. You know, it's crazy of me seeing this as a Palace fan. Obviously, we don't like Brighton. But look at their model and how they're all set up and their progress now. You know, it's taken years. Yeah. You know, we need to be able to get these gems, sell them off for 70 million, you know what I mean? And rebuild like that. Because listen, they're picking up gems for 3-4 mil and selling them off for 60+ million profit. You know what I mean? So we'll get there. I think we will get there, you know, and as long as we continue to trust Vieira, as long as he gets the backing, we show we can mix it with any team in the league. You know? Yeah. It's just about that consistency.
Rich, man. Zaha, man. We was talking about Zaha how many years ago, man. Look, you sold us Wan-Bissaka. We'll take any one of your guys for 100 million. That's what Man United do. But look, Zaha was there, man. Arsenal wanted him. What happened, man? Why didn't you just free him?
Arsenal wanted to give us the Ted Bowley sort of installments, and then they went to pay, instead of giving us the 70 million, they went to go and put 70 million on Pepe. But if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
If I speak, if I talk. Snobsy.
I think the Arsenal now would have bought him properly. I think they've got more confidence in spending. You know what is? I think they're spending because they're so close to winning the league. They're trying to make sure that there's nothing to stop them winning. So that's why they were even willing to buy Modric. They were willing to buy the midfielder from what's that midfielder's name? The one from Brighton.
Enzo. Casiedo.
Trossard.
No, the midfielder they tried to get from Brighton.
Casado.
Yeah, so they're willing to spend because they're like, if we spend and we've got a proper team and win the league, it will just offset it for them. So
yeah, true. I mean, they got young guys, so it's risky, but at the same time, they've trying to offset it with the age thing. But look, Rich, thanks for coming on OT99, man. Thanks for sharing your views, doing a match preview. We much appreciate that, and hopefully we can chop up the post-match reaction. Guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow the Eagle-Eyed team. Look, they're doing good stuff, man. I'm gonna leave all of the information in the comments section below, so you can follow them, man. Just join in, tune in, and just follow them all the way through their journey, man. They're on to big things. But thanks for coming on again, Rich, man. Eds, as usual, we're gonna touch base, and we'll see you, man. We'll see you on Saturday or Sunday or whatever we get to do the post.
Thank you so much for the invitation, by the way.
Bro.
Keep up the great work that you're doing, man.
No worries, bro.
Take care. Good luck this weekend, man.
I'll take a point. Peace.